Hello and welcome to the second lecture on matter for class 6 ICC physics. The topics I'll be discussing would be states of matter and difference between solids, liquids and gases. So now we know that everything around us is made up of matter, and we have learned that they exist as solids, liquids and gases, and we call these forms the three states of matter, and we'll be focusing mainly on these three states, and there's a fourth state too which we'll look at briefly. So let's try to understand the properties of solids. Solids have a fixed shape and volume. The particles are tightly packed, so solids are very dense. They cannot be compressed, and the particles vibrate in their own position. For example, rock, ice, wood are examples of the solids. I am giving you a picture of the diamond, which is the hardest solid. You'll be able to understand that diamond fulfills all these properties. Next, we'll look at liquids. So liquids have no fixed shape but have a fixed volume. So they take the volume of the container. So we can clearly see in this diagram that the two liquids have taken the shape of the container. Now, the particles are loosely packed compared to solids, and they can move around by sliding past each other. So liquids can flow and they can be poured, and they cannot be compressed easily. So some examples of liquid would be water, milk, juice, oil, etc. And water is the only substance that exists in all three states naturally. Very important. Next, we'll be looking at gases. So the properties of gases are: gases have no fixed shape or volume, and they take the volume of the container. The particles are loosely packed and they can move around freely. So, and the particles in a gas are very far apart. The gas can be very easily compressed to a high degree, and it spreads out to fill any space. So some examples of gases would be air, oxygen, helium, carbon dioxide, etc. Now here I have summarized the difference between solids, liquids and gases. So when it comes to shape, solids have a fixed shape, liquids have no fixed shape, whereas gases also have no fixed shape. When it comes to volume, solids have a fixed volume, liquids have a fixed volume, whereas gases do not have any fixed volume. When it comes to particle arrangement, the particles in a solid are very tightly packed, the particles in a liquid are loosely packed, whereas the particles in a gas are very far apart. When it comes to movement of particles, in solids they vibrate in one place, in liquid they move freely but they stay very close, whereas in gases they can move freely in all directions. Next comes compressibility. So in solids are very hard to compress, liquids are slightly compressible, whereas gases are very highly compressible. Now we'll look at the changes in states of matter. So matter can change from one state to another, and these changes are usually caused by heating or cooling. So melting is the change of state from solid state to liquid state. For example, ice melting into water. Freezing is the change from liquid state back to solid state. For example, water freezing into ice. Vaporization is the change from the liquid state to the gaseous state. Example, water boiling into steam. Then comes condensation. That's the opposite of vaporization, where gases change to the liquid state. Example, steam turning into water droplets on a cold surface. And lastly, sublimation is the change of solid state to the gaseous or the vapor state without passing through the liquid state. For example, dry ice turning into a gas. And there's a fourth state called the plasma. So it's a superheated gas with electrically charged particles, and plasma is what stars are made up of. So What makes plasma so special? Because it behaves like a gas but can conduct electricity. So 99% of the universe is made up of plasma. So thanks a lot for watching. If you have liked the video, please find the link to lecture number 3 in the description, and please consider subscribing to my channel or liking and following my Facebook page. Thank you.